Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast, a weekly show where just two old guys talk about old games. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and for the longest time when I was little, I associated chocolate pudding with possible pedophilia.
Wait, what?
Whenever, I played every sport in, elementary school. Past elementary school, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
So probably the longest I played was baseball. I went from t-ball, baseball, played all throughout, my young life. The guy who would come and take our group pictures for baseball, creeped me the hell out. He was so, I don't know, he just looked greasy and had this mustache that was perpetually dirty and stuck to the inside of his mouth. I don't know where they got this guy. And he would take individual pictures of us and the group picture. And he was taking my individual picture and he was trying to get me to smile.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't smile, I'll take you home with me and you can have all the chocolate pudding you want. And that just got in my brain where I just think about chocolate pudding, like him putting me in his basement with just all these snack cups and just I couldn't. He
lowers to you in a bucket.
Yeah, I didn't eat chocolate pudding. I didn't like chocolate for a long time just because there's such a powerful negative association with this creepy photographer and chocolate pudding.
Every time you'd eat it, your asshole would pucker.
Yep.
And I'm Dave, your bespectacled host. And I don't know why I didn't mention this on the Double Dragon episode, but I remember some of the worst trouble I got into when I was a kid was at a skating rink. I went to a birthday party. I remember my mom dropped me off there, and I skated around for a little bit. I didn't like it. So I said, well, fuck it. There's an arcade. So I went to the arcade in my roller skates, naturally. So I started playing Double Dragon. I only had maybe 50 cents. So I put the quarter in, played, died. Put the next quarter in, played, died. So I was leaving, and this kid comes up to me and says, hey, man, this game will give you free plays. You just have to kick it. And I was like, no way. And he's like, watch. And we both went over, and he kicked the hell out of the front of this machine. And sure enough, it gave him a credit. So we played. I figured this is probably my only opportunity to ever beat this game. So I'm wearing roller skates. So you know how they've got the that rubber stop on the front? I just started kicking the shit out of this arcade machine over and over again. Every time I'd kick it, I'd get a credit. And then, so I'm probably on I don't know, man, the 12th kick or something. I don't even realize that kid who had shown me the trick is gone. I feel a hand on my shoulder. It's the manager. So he called my mom, and she had to come and get me in the middle of his birthday party. So there we go.
I would do the same thing. I don't blame you at all.
I blocked it out of my memory when we were talking about Double Dragon, I guess.
Hopefully we'll talk about a skating game, and then we go more in depth. If there's a roller skating game on the top 100.
Right. Which, naturally, there will be.
Yeah, of course. The plethora of good roller skating games. Right. Roller skating birthday. Super roller skating birthday.
All right, guys. This week we're talking about IGN's 88th ranked Super Nintendo game, and that is Sunset Riders. Yeah.
Zelda-style grumble, grumble. Sad. A sad grumble, grumble.
Sad. You had some nostalgia tied to this game, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Tell us the story there.
Well,
Tell us a story, Tyler.
I remember my parents and my aunt and my uncle, me and my little brother, we all went to Florida. Mm-hmm. And I think Sanibel Island, we stayed there for a week. We usually went to Florida every year. And it so happens my mom's best friend, her husband, and her kids were also there. We didn't know until we got there. My friend's hotel had an arcade in the lobby. So we went down there, they had Sunset Riders.
You kicked the shit out of it.
I beat the shit. And I remember playing that. My friend's name was Mitch, and I owe Mitch a lot of gratitude because he got me into Super Nintendo games.
Oh, really?
He loaned me Final Fantasy 2 and 3, which were my first Super Nintendo games.
So if it weren't for Mitch, you wouldn't be doing this show.
I wouldn't be as the same kind of gamer if it was not for Mitch.
You owe Mitch your TADPOG livelihood.
Yep, that's true.
All $0.
All the fan art we get, all thanks to Mitch.
That is true. That's priceless.
But we played a lot of Sunset Riders. We played a lot of... It was another Western game that had the live action cinematography like the old saloon guy would come out and say something to you.
Yeah,
I don't remember what that was called.
what you're talking about. I had like completely blocked that out of my memory. Yeah.
I don't remember anything else about it, but we played that a lot.
Oh, damn.
And we also read a lot of our X-Men books we got at the book fair that week. Because I don't know if you remember that one little, like, it was just like a short biography of all the X-Men in this book. It gave all the X-Men, X-Factor, Excalibur, like all the stats, a description of their power and their background. That's all this book was. But
Sounds like an awesome book.
everybody, that sold out of the book fair in minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody bought that. It was on
bet.
back order at the book fair. It was so popular. And like, I had to be in like fourth grade.
I was at every book fair, Tyler. I missed that one.
Yeah,
I think maybe my school didn't order it.
I want to say that's in my mom's attic. I want to say I still have it. Like I got crayons and I colored in all the X-Men and
Along with bonus material for the podcast, right?
yep.
There's a lot of bonus material up there.
We had discussed last night that passing notes with text messaging is probably not so much of a thing as it used to be.
In schools, I mean,
Yeah,
right?
but I used to pass a lot of notes in high school, mostly between my high school girlfriend and I. We would change notes when we would cross each other in the hall twice a day. I would come home every day and my pockets filled with notes from not just her, but anybody, and I would empty them into a big box, and I kept all of them. So I know I have a huge moving box full of notes in my mom's attic. And we had discussed making that a bit where Dave just reaches out into random, and I have to read whatever's on one of the notes he posts, which is a real big gamble.
Each episode, we pull one note. I like this idea. Please find the box.
So, because some of them would probably be really shitty one-liners or stupid stuff about her day, but some of them might talk explicitly about some of the stuff we had done hanging out the night before. So
you're either going to be really bored or you might get a really weird boner.
my wife's gonna love listening to me talk about.
No, you're not going to talk about it. I am. So it's totally fine.
So we may or may not do the notes thing. But before we delve into Sunset Riders, the quick, our new expeditious, what have we been playing this week?
Yeah. I have been playing a wonderful little game that I wish I was playing with you called River City Ransom.
We meant to play that over at the Homo Meth Cabin, but did not.
It's a great game. It's for the original Nintendo. I'm sure everyone listening knows about this game. I hadn't played it. I had heard about it, and I had watched people play it, but I never played it myself. I know the Scott Pilgrim game that came out on Live, and I guess eventually PSN was based pretty closely to River
That's
City
why
Ransom.
I got River City Ransom. I hadn't heard of it until after Scott Pilgrim, and then I heard that was of its influences, so then I went back and I bought it off eBay.
It's a pretty amazing game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It popped back on my radar after Scott Pilgrim because we were talking about Technos in the Super Double Dragon episode. We mentioned Kunio-kun.
Kunio-kun?
Kunio-kun? That's one of those games.
Okay.
River City Ransom is in the Kunio-kun universe. Kuniverse.
Universe, nice.
So that's about it for me. What have you been up to, Tyler?
I finally beat Cave Story,
Yes.
which you're right, I did thoroughly enjoy.
Yes.
That game, the best way I could describe it is just it plays like butter. It's so just smooth and seamless. Technically, it was masterful. I thoroughly enjoyed Cave Story. I beat that pretty swiftly, and then I started BioShock Infinite.
Oh, you have?
Which I am taking my time with that.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to just sit down and run through it. Just like, I know it's going to be a long time before I get another one or an experience probably remotely similar.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just immerse myself, find every little nook and cranny, find all the secrets, just take my time easing
Find that
through it.
nook and cranny, boy.
Get in them nook and crannies.
That's where all that pudding is. Awesome. I'm glad you're playing it. Maybe one day I'll get to.
After I'm done with it, then I'm just like, here's a Steam gift, click, click.
Oh, so you got it on Steam? I don't think I can run it, honestly. I think I'm going to have to get it on PS3. I've checked all the red boxes. They've got them for 360, but not PS3. I just really don't want to play it on 360.
I wouldn't either.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm lazy. I don't want to plug it in.
I'm just jaded to 360
Are you?
nowadays.
I don't have a problem with it. It's just not plugged in.
Mine. It's sitting in my living room, but
Mine
my
is too,
PS3 is constantly my go-to system. PC and PS3.
I'll pick it up when it's $40.
I think that's
$30.
perfectly acceptable. Yeah, which could be in like another 2 weeks. If it runs
Yeah.
like Dishonored, wait a month, then you'll find it half off.
Tyler, you want to know a little something about Sunset Riders?
I do.
This is a little segment. I like to name this segment.
Okay.
So it's official. I think this segment I'd like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. So in this episode of Dave Reads from Wikipedia, I want to tell you about Sunset Riders. Sunset Riders, guys. There's a little ad-libbing, by the way, because Wikipedia doesn't go into. It's not very personable. Sunset Riders, guys. It's a side-scrolling run and gun style shoot 'em up. Now you know that I have a predisposed distaste for games like this, but perhaps I'm playing my hand too early. Sunset Riders was released by Konami originally as an arcade game, and that happened in 1991. That's what you played in Florida, Tyler.
91, also the same year Muppet Babies was canceled.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Make my second running Muppet Babies Babies reference.
Let's keep this train rolling. The game is set in the American Old West. You play one of 4 bounty hunters, and you're seeking rewards and wealth beyond your dreams for taking in various criminals. The game was ported by Konami for the Super Nintendo in 1993. With that being said, Tyler, what do you think?
It didn't play exactly as I remembered. It played more like what you don't like. It was just like
What don't I like?
Like the run and gun Contra style game. It was reminiscent of Super Turrican 2 and Contra. So it's just a mildly racist Old West Contra.
Yeah, it is a mildly racist Old West Contra.
Yep.
I like that. In fact, I think we should rename the game.
To exactly that.
to precisely that. In fact, I don't edit Wikipedia, but I think I might start just to change the title of this game.
But it helps contribute to my growing distaste of arcade ports.
Yeah. I'd always heard as a kid. Even I remember hearing buzz because I didn't spend a lot of time in the arcades in '91 when I was 10 years old. There's about 100 people doing math right now when I say that. Because I was 10 years old. I played games at home on my Super Nintendo. But I used to always hear from the older kids that used to skateboard and have the rat tails and all that. They would...
The dirtbag kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The Keiths and the...
The Keiths and the Shanes.
The Shanes,
okay.
Thank you. Yeah, the Keiths and the Shanes, they would skateboard and beat me up and tell me about how all the games I was playing on the Super Nintendo were shitty compared to when they played them 2 years ago in the arcade. I think they were right.
Yeah, because I can see where this would have been a lot better playing it on the arcade.
Yeah.
But, all right, so it's 4 characters.
Right.
There are 4 bounty hunters.
Four bounty hunters, 3 white guys.
The whitest white guys we've ever seen.
Lannisters, even.
That's true.
Because they're all blonde, yes.
They're blonde and wear, some shade of red or pink. Or you've got Steve, Bob, Billy, and then for a little bit of color, you've got the Mexican Cormano. Who is by far the best one.
Hell yeah, he is.
Yeah, Cormano is much, much better.
Why?
Dual-wielding his shotguns.
Dual-wielding shotguns.
Poncho.
What color's the poncho?
Pink.
Real men wear pink.
Yep.
Cormano knows. Real men wear pink. What is the other thing? There's a third thing I'm looking for, Tyler.
Sombrero.
Oh, you know what? That's not what I'm looking for, but that's good.
Beard.
Epic beard.
Epic beard.
Epic beard. Cormano.
Which, Cormano being the best, and I think Billy is sort of comparable to Cormano.
See, which one? All those white people look the same to me. Which one is Billy?
I think Steve and Bob are like the green one and the red one. And they're shitty. They just have like the one revolver.
One pistol, right. Yes.
Compared to Billy, I think he's blue, and then Cormano is pink, who dual wield like shotguns or like Cormano has shotguns and Billy has, they're not quite shotguns,
it's like a
but
rifle.
Yeah. They are much better than the other two.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up how right off the bat you've got this imbalance.
Because I guess the only advantage to them is you can hold down the fire button and they'll continue to fire.
I didn't know that.
Which I think that's only a mild inconvenience, not any reason to make, we'll draw back their firepower, but you can just hold down the button, as opposed to these guys who are much better, but you just got to press that button.
You got to press it over and over again. I didn't know you could hold it down for the for the two main white guys. I thought you had to press rapidly. That knowledge doesn't change my perception of the game much.
Nope. Mine either.
Tyler, will you share a little bit of the story with me for this game, Sunset Riders?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What's it about?
You're 4 heroes.
And that's debatable, I think.
Yeah, well, you're four questionable bounty hunters who come into town taking increasing rewards. I guess they're nice guy bounty hunters. They are kind to women.
They speak kindly to women, at least.
Yeah. You see them go into brothels and bring out chickens and Stars of David.
You're right, or sheriff badges,
Sheriff badges.
if you will. But we all know the Jewish agenda with this game. Sunset Riders, secret Jewish agenda.
Because Steve, Bob, and Billy their last names are all Goldberg.
Yeah.
So we're creating lore right now.
I love it.
They're three white Jewish men who have come to Mexico.
Their manservant, Cormano.
And then it's like the Green Hornet, where that guy's the best.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the story.
Yep. There's not much else to say. This is clearly, as you stated, like when we were playing, you were like, God, this game is. I can see these parts where you're just gonna get a hit. You're gonna get hit a lot. It's meant to just devour quarters.
Yeah.
So when you play it on SNES, it just devours your continues.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there are times where you cannot avoid a bullet. It's just impossible. Even though there's this awesome slide mechanic. And awesome is in quotation marks, because the slide mechanic, what it does is exactly what it sounds like. You slide on the ground forward, which sounds great because you can use to dodge a bullet. But there's so many bullets on the screen that all you're really doing is rushing into another bullet.
Yes. Your guns are very fast and have a spread, and the enemies fire these, looks like multicolored candy that kind of floating through the air. It reminds me of like the Moonanites, their ultimate weapon that was the big 8-bit block that moves very slowly.
Right.
You're just dodging a whole bunch of those.
Their bullets are like slow-moving zombies. There wouldn't be a problem if there weren't so fucking many of them.
And please, for the show notes, have the Oakton Hunger Force Moonanite scene of them.
You got it.
There's the show notes.
You got it. If it's on YouTube, they will be there in the show notes.
Because normally you're on foot. There are two levels where you're on horses.
Yeah.
Your horses, impervious to bullets,
Right.
weak to logs.
And color coordinated with the rider.
Yes. You got your blue horse and your pink horse.
Right. To go back to the whole, there's a lot of bullets and they kill you. They kill you because you're the one hit point wonder.
Yeah, that's where I didn't even think about it, where you said it's very Contra-esque, and yeah, just one bullet, that's it, you're gone.
You don't have a health bar or anything. You're hit, you're dead.
The enemies can take hundreds and hundreds of bullets, but you get glanced by one. That's
Well, the
it.
bosses.
The bosses.
The mooks. They're as disposable as the 3 white guys in Cormano.
It's a very fluid, kind of fast-paced game, but the moves can be a little blocky. The slide mechanic is very janky. Where you crouch, you can't press forward or anything else. You have to press up before you can move again to come out of your crouch,
Or at least release down.
Yeah,
You can't while you're crouching. You can't hit forward and move into a forward. You're right. It's very robotic. It's very Blackthorn.
yeah.
In that you have to input one movement command at a time. And speaking of movement, I know this is on your list somewhere. The fucking double jump or jump to a ledge.
I did not put it on there.
Oh my god!
Go on about how frustrated you were with the double jump.
I think this is the bane of this game, and this is the epitome, the epitome of this game's poor controls.
I'm gonna explain that after you're done.
Go ahead, explain it now.
Okay, well, I'd only read epitome before, and then I'd heard it a few different ways. So for the longest time, like
Up until last week,
all throughout high school, I thought that calling something the epitome meant that it was the worst. Because it just sounds epitome, pity, But the epitome sounds like epic. So the epitome is the worst, and epitome is the best.
Exalted.
So that's how I use that word for just years and years and years.
Well, in that regard, the jump mechanic in this game is the epitome. It's just the worst.
It's just the worst.
It's just the worst. Because several stages have multi-level tiers to them. Mm-hmm. For instance, you'll be walking down the street, shooting a bunch of bandits, and you can jump up to the balcony above. Or can you? That's the problem.
Some look like you can get up there, but you can't, and then some you have to continue on. And
Right.
Yeah.
Some very difficult bosses are made easy, and I'm sure we're going to get into this guy.
Yep.
Dark Horse. But some are made incredibly easy if you're up on a balcony. The problem is jumping up on the balcony doesn't always work because you're supposed to hit up and jump, and for fuck's sake, I mean, it's like crafting in Final Fantasy 11. You got to be facing the right direction. You got to make sure you got the right crystal. You got to make sure you got to like go through this 5-point checklist to make sure, all right, I can get up on this balcony.
What time is it? What day is
exactly.
it?
Exactly. And what happens as soon as you jump up on the balcony? Someone shoots you.
Yep, one hit, so you're dead. So you get up, you're invincible while you're jumping, but the minute you set, it takes a second for you to get your gun back out and fire. And you'll pretty much always get hit.
Yeah.
As soon as you land.
As soon as you hit. Yeah, as soon as you land up there, you're dead.
It also requires a lot of diagonal shooting.
Yeah.
And I can see where in the arcade, with an arcade stick, no problem. It's a little more difficult with the Super Nintendo controller.
Right. I actually prefer games where you can shoot diagonally because I always feel like just up and left and right just kind of feels locked in, you know what I mean? Because games like that, like Mega Man, for example, where you can only shoot the direction you're facing, essentially in the earlier games, I always wish I had a diagonal fire for when shit is swooping in at me.
Yeah, fucking birds. Made the joke early on because in the first level, you clear out part of the town you're walking through and suddenly a bunch of bulls charge you. Right. And apparently, like, the cattle ranchers in the world of Sunset Riders have discovered the best way to move your cattle is to sort of like the human centipede, make your bull centipede, sew them all ass to mouth.
Right.
And just set them in a straight line.
With the price of grain going through the fucking roof.
The animation is they're all exactly lined up, ass to mouth in a line, and you're jumping over them. None of them are like one going faster than the other. It's just. I imagine it probably wasn't a concern in 1991.
No, probably not. I doubt they were sitting around a room spitballing possible.
Hey man, this make you think that they're all sewed ass to mouth. No, that's sick, Jerry. That's sick.
What is wrong with you? Go work for Capcom, you sick fuck. But it reminded me of, have you played The Lion King?
Yes, but I don't remember hardly anything about it.
There's a stampede in The Lion King, and that's...
I remember that from the movie.
Right. Spoilers, come on. Spoilers, Tyler. You're treading on some dangerous ground here. I assume that The Lion King came out after Sunset Riders. They essentially ripped this off because the wildebeest... I mean, I can't remember precisely if they're sewn ass to mouth, but the whole idea, the whole concept of jumping on top of the stampede and running, you know, that's pretty prevalent.
The power-up system was shitty.
Yeah, it's kind of vague, isn't it?
Because, the bullets, they're one-hit kills anyway. Just they kind of change color. Your spread might get a little stronger. But, of course, if you get hit, all your power-ups that you've attained go away.
Right, and that's the key to why the power-up system is shitty. And it's the same as Contra. You upgrade your weapons. Why? Why bother? You're gonna die. Like in 30 seconds, you're gonna be dead.
Well, at least in Contra, you get like the direction might change, or it might be a flamethrower or something like that. This is like nothing. Just green bullets, pink bullets, slightly bigger spread. That's it.
Yeah, but the spread. I think the spread is of the power ups. It's the best.
Well, yeah.
In the dual wielding, they're pretty good at dispatching run of the mill mooks.
Yeah, but I just wish there had been maybe more guns, or maybe one power move that could take out everything in the screen. Just a little more variety, or armor so you could take more than one hit.
Yeah,
something.
Different guns I think would be cool, and there's some dynamite just laying around randomly. I think that could have been even a power up, or it'd be nice to actually be able to have your own dynamite that you can throw. I think of that because you were talking about some way to kill everything on the screen instead of just picking up the random dynamite that is lit on the ground. It might be nice
and tossing it 2 screens ahead. No one runs into it. The enemies avoid it like you do.
It's not even 2 screens. It's like 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
It's just like you have 2 options when you run across dynamite. You got to treat it like a snake. You either pick it up and dispose of it, or you just wait until it goes away.
This game was very much same Konami song, just a different verse.
Yeah, I see that. I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't have any fun at all with it. I did. I did have fun with it, and the only reason I had fun with it was because I was playing it with you. Mm-hmm. If I were playing this game alone, I would have turned it off.
Been awful. The one thing I do think that was well done, I feel like the bosses were pretty imaginative.
Yeah.
Like this was kind of a vehicle to show off funny bosses.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Bland, mundane, vanilla heroes, with the exception of Cormano. And then, yeah. Each boss battle was a little different, except for the first boss and the last boss. The format at which you fight them is the same.
They're bookended.
I thought that was lame.
See, I liked it because I thought it was a callback to the first boss. When you fight Charlie, isn't it?
The
Charlie
first guy
Rose?
is Simon Greedwell.
Right. The last boss is
Sir Richard Rose.
Richard Rose. Yeah, I thought
Charlie Rose? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Or Pete. Or Pete Rose.
Pete Rose? Yeah, that's also a thing.
Could have been Pete Rose. But I thought it was nice because it's a callback to the first boss.
Because Simon Greedwell, first boss, he's got sort of the iconic line from the game, which when you finally kill him, he falls out of the building, lands, just bury me with my money.
Yeah, and it's pretty impressive because you actually hear him say it. That's kind of a big deal for this game, the voice modulation. Why is that famous? It's famous. Tyler,
I think it's mildly amusing. I've seen it a lot on Reddit.
It's all over Reddit, right?
Yeah.
But explain the fight a little bit.
You basically walk in front of a two-story mansion with 6 windows, and then he is in the middle of the second floor, kind of surrounded by barrels.
Out on the balcony.
You have to blast the barrels out the balcony.
He's firing down on you while he's hiding.
Tons of
barrels.
bosses coming, or the regular bandits coming out of the windows and shooting at you. So it's just the floating candy bullets all over the place.
Yeah. It's a bullet storm.
It is a bullet storm, which underrated game in my opinion. Bulletstorm, but that's neither here nor there.
Written by Rick Remender, who wrote
Blink.
Who wrote Uncanny X-Force. He's a comic book writer.
Oh, okay.
And Venom. He wrote Venom as well.
Oh, okay. I like it better already then.
Yeah.
So Simon Greedwell reminds me of Midas T. Golden, which is from the Oregon Trail, like a later Oregon Trail. My very first computer was a compact Presario, and that's what came with it, was the Oregon Trail. And Midas T. Golden was like the fat banker.
Okay.
Who was extraordinarily greedy. He came with the most money to fund your expedition.
Is this like Oregon Trail 2 or?
I guess. It was a very updated, like 16-bit Oregon Trail.
I'm going to have to find this. Please continue.
It was fun. I beat it with every character in every way.
There were different characters?
There were like 5 different people you could choose from at the beginning to be your partner. Each partner had different skills.
Are you sure this wasn't Sunset Riders?
I'm sure. It's slightly reminiscent. But Midas T. Golden, like all his skills, he couldn't help you chop wood or he couldn't carry anything, but he just had tons of money, he was very effective because you could hire a lot of people to help and buy a lot of supplies with all his money.
Did he look like?
He looked
Greedwell?
like Simon Greedwell.
Okay. And he's also rich.
He's also very rich. Yeah. After Simon Greedwell, then the next level is riding your horses.
Right.
Which bullets pass right through them, but people throw logs, just demolish your horse.
Yeah. Logs plus horse equals rolling animal.
Yep. But the boss of that stage is Hawkeye Hank Hatfield. Who it's kind of a very standard like bad guy gunslinger.
Yes.
His level was looked like a train yard.
Right.
Could you chase a train in that level?
Yeah. Can I share a little story? Some of my feelings about this level. This game was put out, like we said, probably a million times. Put out by Konami. Who you may remember, we talked about a little game called Tiny Toons when we first started this show. And Tiny Toons has a train level that drives any normal person to want to drown kittens. I think is when you get done playing it, you have this insatiable urge to kill life, to snuff out life's flame.
It makes a sane man insane and an insane man sane.
Right.
Playing like this train level.
So I was really concerned when we got to this stage because I said multiple times to you while we were playing, I was like, fuck, Tyler, I swear to God, if we have to run over a mountain while this train goes through a tunnel, I'm done. I'm done playing this game.
But you know the problem of having to jump over the posts.
I know
that will come through and knock you out.
That's what set me off. That like all of a sudden my PTSD was just right back. As soon as I saw that post and it hit me off the train, I was like, "Fuck, this is Tiny Toons all over again."
David is Tiny Toons PTSD.
Fortunately, the train fucking stops before you go through a tunnel, and then you get to this Hatfield motherfucker at the end.
Which he just has like 3 crates that he's kind of jumping back very quickly, and then lots of bandits coming in.
Right, and he's taking cover behind these crates and shooting at you.
Yeah, you have to shoot him while he quickly dashes between. And there's a twist, because at the very end before he dies, he jumps out of the crates right at you, and you have to shoot him down.
That legitimately scared me when that happened, because had you gotten that far in the arcade game?
I imagine I had, but I don't recall.
Because I was curious, because you were cool, calm, and collected, man. He hopped out from behind those crates, and you were just like, whatever. I did not know what the fuck was going on. I did not know how to deal with that. I was worried that if he touched me, I was going to die. You did the right thing, just knelt and shot at him. I just fucking flee in terror when he leapt. What else you got on that list of bosses there, Tyler?
The next one is the one who drained most of our continues on our first run, which is Dark Horse.
Dark Horse.
Dark Horse is sort of, he's their version of Mongo from Blazing Saddles.
I think he's our first brush with the Native American culture in this game. I really think he's supposed to be an Indian.
But he's a muscular white guy.
But yeah, he's a muscular white guy.
And he speaks in like broken English. Like, I don't know if he's foreign or stupid.
Right.
So.
Well, he's also wearing no shirt, but the suspenders that are holding his trousers up cover his nipples. I really
Thank God. Dirty titty. Thanks.
Dirty titty. If we were forming our YMCA group, Eddie E and Dark Horse are the 2 core members. We have our police officer, Eddie E from Final Fight fame, of course, and then Dark Horse from Sunset Riders.
Hopefully we will complete our list by the time we get to the end.
Yep.
The end of
what else do we
TADPOG's
need?
original SNES run.
We need a construction worker?
And an Indian chief. Or is
Dark Horse. Dark Horse is
our
he's our
Indian
Indian.
chief.
He's got to be our Indian.
A construction worker and...
A karate master? I don't know. What's the 4th? Fireman? A fireman?
Fireman? Yeah, maybe it's a fireman.
A fireman, maybe?
Yeah,
let's go with fireman.
We can make that a TADPOG challenge. We don't want to simply Google this in 2 seconds.
Right.
What are the people of the YMCA?
Someone knows. It's like a fucked up scavenger hunt.
Fill up our Facebook with links to the YMCA videos. But, okay, trying to shoot down Dark Horse.
Yeah.
He drained, like, basically all of our lives the first time we killed him.
Yeah, he did.
Because he would just ride through us. Like, we
he's
thought,
on a horse.
He's on a horse. We're not.
Right.
And horses are invincible, except for logs. We don't have any logs.
We don't have logs. Plus, if we had logs, it wouldn't matter because his horse is wearing badass armor.
It's a horse armor. He paid for the horse armor DLC.
He bought the horse armor DLC, motherfucker. It is useful for something. That's deflecting bullets in Sunset Riders.
We didn't make it through much further past that because all of our lives were gone.
Right.
So when we played through again, then you figured out, oh, we could jump up on the balcony away from him and just shoot him easily.
Right. Found out by accident because the quote-unquote double jump mechanic is awful. I just happened to be pressing up in front of one of the balconies and jumped. And yeah, you're right. Made it completely, it's
no problem.
It was a breeze.
He couldn't even get to us, yeah.
And he didn't have any like low-level guys running around or anything like that either. It was just stay in the balcony and shoot him.
Yep. And right after that, as soon as he rides off defeated, a woman comes out of the house that you're in front of. Mm-hmm. You know, oh, those men inside are awful.
She falls to the ground.
Yeah, you catch her. Whoever killed Dark Horse catches her.
Right.
Because whoever got the last shot on a boss collects all the bounty unless you've dealt the exact same damage to him throughout the entire encounter.
Yeah, I don't think... when we were playing, I thought it was whoever got the last hit, but I think it's whoever does the most damage.
Oh, does the most damage.
And I'm curious, because at the end of each stage, faithful listener, you get these stats that gives percentages. It'll say, player 1, 60%, player 2, 40%. That's about as in-depth as they go. I don't know if that's the percentage of damage dealt to the boss or the percentage of enemies killed
throughout the whole
level. I don't know. But whoever has the highest will, yes, catch this woman.
And you would think that you might split it 60-40 or
Oh, that's
however
the
you
other
get
thing.
it,
Right.
but you don't. Whoever has the highest gets all the money and therefore all the bonus lives,
Yeah.
all the points.
Because you collect a bounty at the end of the stage. When you kill the boss, you collect that boss's bounty. And let's say it's $50,000. Well, if player 1 has 60% at the end of the stage, he collects all of that money. And player 2 tries to suck his own dick, I guess. I don't know.
Yep. That's what I did every time I got 40%. Like, Dave, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be back in a second. You rolling all your money.
There's another thing I want to add about Dark Horse.
Okay.
And that is, I've got the small list running of racist things in Sunset Riders. And his broken English, if he is in fact Native American, I think is our first real tinge, aside from Cormano, of course, of racism in this game. And that's when he says, "You in big heap trouble." Which, like you said, he could just be like a Mongo. But I really think with the name Dark Horse, I think he's supposed to be Native
sounds,
American.
yeah.
And when you defeat him, he bookends it with "me in big heap trouble." So there you go.
But after the woman comes out, hugs whoever won the stage.
Right.
You know, the men in there are awful. And then all 4 characters, despite the 4th one, should probably have an accent. Cormano should probably have an accent. They all say, "No problem, Missy."
Ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am. Shit, they're polite.
Very polite.
And then, of course, you go inside and it's immediate boss battle. Back-to-back bosses.
Yeah, and I like that because, like you said earlier, I felt the same way about the stages. The stages just kind of felt like vehicles to get you to the bosses, and the stages were designed to just kill you as many times as possible until you get to a fun boss. Who was inside the tavern, Tyler?
The Smith brothers, who are like Boom and Boom from Borderlands 2. They
Right.
just take up their color palette swaps of each other in different corners, just
they're-
lobbing bombs at you.
They're on opposing balconies, and you swing up on the chandelier. I mean, come on, this is the best way to do it.
That's true.
You can shoot them from the ground if you want, but who the fuck wants to do that? You want to get on the chandelier in between them and just take them out while
It
they
is
throw
much
bombs at you.
easier on the giant wooden chandelier.
Yeah.
They're like a separate, the 2 old Muppets from the Muppet Show that comment on everything in the theater.
Waldorf and Stadler.
Thank you. That way you can have some Waldorf and Statler show notes.
Yes, I like it. In fact, why were they not named Waldorf and Stadler? Now I'm mad. I like this battle up until this very moment.
That's what they did when they were younger. They're Waldorf and Statler Smith, the Smith brothers,
All right,
who got taken down.
You're calming me back down.
There you
All
go.
right, I'm on board.
But of course, when you beat the Smith brothers, you get the most risque reward of the game.
Yeah.
Which I don't see how this is an M rated. Like the heavy rain shower scene does not have shit on this glorious reward you get for taking out the Smith
I
brothers.
forgot about that goddamn shower scene until just now.
Yeah. 3 can dancers come out and just sort of move, and all the characters run up and hit their knees in front of the stage and freeze holding their hats up in the air.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
Paralyzed with pleasure.
Yes.
Trademark, paralyzed with
But
pleasure.
to say, that's your romance novel. It's starring Christopher Reeve. Well, I mean, it is a game with horses.
But then they tell you about Sir Richard Rose and his 3 underlings, and then you start your quest to go collect Richard Rose's bounty after taking out his 3 henchmen.
His underlings, Charlie, Pete, and I'll just say Seal because I haven't come up with another guy with Rose last name.
El Greco,
Oh, Greco.
Chief Wigwam, who I think that's the racism feather in
Oh yeah,
the
did you
game's hat.
just hit the next point on my racism list?
Yep. And then Paco Loco, which I
Hey,
don't understand Paco Loco.
That's another point on my racism list.
Yeah. And then, of course, Sir Richard Rose, the Englishman in charge of all of them.
Right.
But El Greco's stage is another train level.
Yeah.
Going through the train till you get to him, and I guess he's a Spanish bullfighter. He has a shield and a whip, and his whip hits no matter what side of El Greco you're standing on. That whip's gonna hit you.
You can
and
be
you're
in the
dead.
front, you can be in the back. I think the trick is, and I couldn't master this while we were doing it, the front of the train where you fight him, does like this 3-tiered stair step. I think if he's on the top stair step, if you're on the bottom one, he can't hit you.
So you just diagonal shoot up, get under his shield.
I think that's the trick, but he moves around so much that I couldn't test it.
Just jump and whip all sides. Yeah, we lost several lives on El Greco.
He's blocking all your bullets with his shield.
And then the next boss, which I think, in my opinion, is the hardest boss, Chief Wigwam.
Yeah.
Who you fight him in like this
hard.
druidic circle, Stonehenge, and he's just throwing knives all over the place.
He's a master thrower.
Yep.
He is a master thrower. I think he's a pretty hard boss, too.
Yeah, we probably lost the most lives on Chief Wigwam.
Excluding our first bout with Dark Horse.
Dark Horse, this is true.
I'm glad you brought up Chief Wigwam because he's the second point on my racism notes that I've got. Mm-hmm. Because Chief Wigwam, that's obviously... That's fucking racist.
Yeah, they right? Couldn't have gotten much worse if they named him like Drinkum Firewater. Like
interesting that you say that because I like trivia and I have a little bit of trivia.
Yes.
About our good friend Chief Wigwam. I would like for you to guess his original name.
Drinkum Firewater.
That I wish. I wish. Because that is like upper echelon racism. His original name in the arcade game was Chief Scalp'em.
Oh, that is worse.
It's worse, but is it really though? Because it's Scalp'em and Wigwam. Those are both, come on.
They're both very blatant Native American hits.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Dark Horse, okay, that's probably a little more respectable than Chief Wigwam. Right? Me pitch 'em tent. So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there. We get another display of our wonderful chivalry. Do you recall what happens after you beat Chief Wigwam?
His wife runs out.
Or daughter.
Or, yeah.
I assume
a young
daughter.
maiden.
I don't know.
Runs out, hugs him. He was just following orders. So it's like, well, I guess so were the Nazis. They were just following orders. Just let him go. It's fine. They're just following orders. It's excusable if someone else is telling you to do it.
If Charlie Rose is telling you to kill someone, you do it.
And then the next boss after that, Paco Loco.
Loco.
I thought he was an albino cyclops whenever I saw his picture.
I thought he was a popular energy drink.
It also works. Which, just saying Paco reminds me of a story from middle school.
Okay.
In the brutal land of middle school fashion.
Oh, God.
The Paco brand, which I'm sure is out there somewhere.
Were those like Jinkos or something?
Sort of.
Yeah, I think I very vaguely recall these things.
Like, I went to church with a kid who had, still to this day, like the strongest country accent I've ever heard. Loved Paco brand. That's all he bought. Like, he came in, I remember like wearing gold chains and stuff like that was sort of popular.
Yeah.
He came in, hey man, look, man, this is my brand, dog. It's my brand. And he pulls out this horrible looking like Paco charm on a chain.
Yeah.
I'm like, where'd you get that? He's like, hey man, I made it in my metalsmith shop. Made myself my Paco brand. So it just like,
what is it, just a logo?
thin gold chain, what looks like a Jesus fish, but it says Paco on the inside. That's my brand, dog. Paco.
Well, I can't say too much. I was wearing Massimo printed tees down to my knees.
Well, Massimo was, middle school, Massimo was more of your top tier. Abercrombie & Fitch didn't catch on until I was a freshman in high school. So in 8th grade, like, Nike was the coolest thing you could wear.
Okay.
I begged my mom for so much Nike stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, you don't play any sports. Why do you need Nike stuff? Shut up, Mom, I need my Nike stuff.
She's essentially calling you a poser.
Yeah. And I was. God, I was. So bad.
Yeah. I was too. I remember the Space Jam shirt that I begged my mom to get me, where it's Michael Jordan palming Marvin the Martian. Do you recall that one?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Jinko was starting to lose, so Jinko might have been like 3rd or 4th on the list. Massimo was like maybe 2, and then Paco was like 5. Maybe No Fear. No Fear was 3.
Oh God, No Fear.
Nike, Massimo, No Fear, Paco.
Wasn't there a knockoff of No Fear, like Ain't Scared or some shit?
What, Ain't Scared of like Big Dogs?
Oh God, Big Dog. Oh, that shit is awful. I'm so glad you reminded me.
Tyler and Dave talk middle school fashion. All right, Paco Loco.
Paco Loco. Albino. Interesting,
albino, clearly. Like a big hulking albino.
Yeah.
The other horse stage in the game.
Yeah.
A much easier horse stage, in my opinion.
You're on your color-coordinated ponies.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You halfway through, you get off your horses, shoot bad guys behind a tree line until you get to a fort where Paco Loco has some large gun that fires 3 or 4 bullets at a time.
I'm pretty sure
firing
it's the
from the
entrance
fort.
to the fort in F Troop. I'm just saying.
It did look like that. It very much looked like that.
I don't remember the albino Mexican firing a Gatling gun in F Troop, but it's probably just because I haven't watched it in a while. Was he Mexican? He might have been
I don't
Native
know what he
American.
was.
I don't know.
I think he was a Greek mythological creature.
Oh God, you're blowing my mind. This whole game is just a parallel to the Odyssey.
Yes. But Paco Loco was pretty difficult because
Yeah,
he's
he was.
behind that wall, so you have to jump. You can only hit him at the height of your jump.
Right.
And he's got 3 or 4 bullets in several lines coming at you.
But that's not the hard part. That all adds on top of it. The hard part are the motherfuckers in the trees throwing bombs at you.
Yes, that's true. So you're not safe on the ground and you're not safe in the air where you can get him.
Right.
So it's rough. Mm-hmm. But then once we killed Paco Loco, and then we're on to Sir Richard Rose.
Cheerio, old chap.
Which, yeah, his stage is just, going through kind of a fort with ropes, and there are fires underneath the ropes as you go through and try to shoot down your enemies.
Fortunately,
Standard
pretty easy.
fare. Yeah.
And pretty short, because his fight is not very easy.
No, not at all. A lot of times you can shoot the add-ons, the bandits, and they'll stop coming. They don't stop in Richard Rose's level. So
Yeah.
you have to just kind of endure
Yeah, they keep coming.
until you kill him.
It reminded me of the Crazy Eights in Kill Bill.
Yes.
It's like they just keep coming.
Which we died the first few times trying Richard Rose.
Yeah.
Until we finally, even like all the tricks and tips we were reading to help us do it, like none of them
Pulled
were
out our old
effective.
Game Pros, flipped furiously through them, just couldn't do it.
Pull out our 91 Game Pros that we keep in our
Next to
our
our
sealed
box
room.
full of notes from school.
I do have a Game Pro about Super Smash TV somewhere in my
Oh,
house.
Smash TV. That does not surprise me. Will you offer that up as a prize?
If
to the
somebody
listeners?
wants my held together by Scotch tape, stained with piss from reading the bathroom copy of Game Pro, they can have it.
It's Mondo, folks. It's not. He's joking. It's not really piss. It's Mondo.
But then Richard Rose, he's guarded by like stone statues all around his entrance. Once
Right,
you
'cause
take
he's-
that down, shoot him.
Because he's on a balcony.
Yes. In a White House, roses. He's a fancy Englishman.
It's his mansion, dog.
And then once you shoot around his barrier, take him down, then he jumps down to fight you on the same plane.
Right.
Side-scroller style.
Right.
And that's pretty difficult because he's jumping up on balconies and jumping from side to side like no other boss does.
And what makes it even more difficult is that if he does hit you, like if he collides with you, not just shoot you, but if he collides with you, you die. And that's what I was worried about in the Hatfield battle. I was worried that if he ran into you, you die. Well, you don't. Mm-hmm. But with Charlie Rose, you do.
He's made of electricity or something. Yeah,
Right.
you die from touching him.
Yes.
I mean, he's got to be frustrated if he's like Rogue. He touches people and they die.
That's what made him the man he is.
Once you finally shoot him down, you see him fall and you think it's over. And then he stands back up, Back to the Future style, pulls off body armor.
Right.
I don't know why he gets rid of it at that point, but then he throws it aside and you have to fight him all over again.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's been pretty effective up to this point.
It doesn't look like it's broken.
No.
It looks like I tricked you. Ha ha ha. All right, now let's fight without it. Then when you beat him that time, then he falls and
Right.
game over. You get his huge, like $100,000 bounty.
To be fair, it is a good fake out. Because when we downed him the first time, I really thought that it was the end until he popped back up.
But then, of course, when we beat it on easy setting, as soon as we beat him, then it just gets, try this on a higher difficulty level.
Good job, partner.
Yeah, I hate games that do that. At least we got to finish it before we got the face palm of, sorry.
Face palm of an ending.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Of course, and then when we beat it on normal, then
Don't lie.
when we watch the YouTube video, beat it on normal because we're not going to try that shit all over again.
Right.
Whoever you were riding off into the sunset.
Yep.
That's what we
That's
missed.
what you miss by beating it on easy. So my advice would be to just beat it on easy.
Yeah, or just listen to this review and save yourself 45 minutes.
And don't play it. Yeah.
We breezed through this pretty swiftly.
Yeah, we did. It's hard for me to recommend people don't play it. I think that if you've got a good friend, like I have in you, Tyler,
Thank you.
that you should probably sit down and play it with your friend because it's fun. If you're playing this alone, if you're friendless, you just don't touch this game.
Yeah, no. Play Contra, the improved version of this game.
You see, Tyler, now I'm second guessing myself. There probably are a lot better 2-player games that you could sit down and play with somebody than Sunset Riders.
It looks sort of like Turtles in Time, which, of course, it's in no way comparable to Turtles in Time.
Right.
But
Can I also say, you say it looks like Turtles in Time, and by that, it kind of does, but this game kind of looks like shit.
yeah, it certainly doesn't look great.
Like the actual graphics of this game are pretty shitty, I thought.
Yeah.
And
No,
the
you are
music,
correct.
The music is pretty shitty, I thought.
Yeah, nothing stood out to me. I'm glad this was, I don't know, I feel like while Blackthorn was a shittier game, it had better music. So I'm really glad like this wasn't 90. I'm glad Megalith didn't have to work with the Sunset Riders soundtrack.
I think it's unfair to say that Blackthorn was a shittier game. Really? You think it was a shittier
do.
game?
I enjoyed this more than I did Blackthorn.
Okay, I agree. I enjoyed Sunset Riders more than Blackthorn, but I still think Blackthorn was like a better put together game than Sunset Riders.
It probably took 4 or 5 months to make Blackthorn. It probably took 3 weeks to make Sunset Riders.
Yeah, exactly. Because Sunset Riders kind of feels like they didn't exactly put it together in a weekend like Shaq Fu was put together.
Yeah.
But it also was probably about in that Super Double Dragon range of, oh shit, we got to port this arcade game to Super Nintendo like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. This is 88. Bomberman was 89. That's a crime.
I think
this
you're
should
right.
not be above Bomberman
No.
2 at all.
No.
Yeah, I had high hopes, completely dashed. This reminds me of Hey Dude in the fact like don't go back and try to relive it. Just some things don't withstand the test of time. Sunset Riders and Hey Dude do not. Hey Dude. That's another thing for your show notes.
Yeah, I haven't watched that since it came out. I know you've gone back and watched it.
Awful.
Yeah.
Does not hold up. Pete and Pete holds up pretty effectively.
Ben Stiller's wife's in that show.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. Melanie. But
There's probably some Melanie fanfic out there we can find and read on the show, right?
Melanie Brad, the other girl Brad,
Brad.
fan fiction.
Yeah. Well, man, I want to get to some beers and I want to get to some glasses. But before we do that, normally I like to keep everybody on the same page. Where are these developers now? The problem is we've done a lot of Konami games, so we've already talked about where Konami is. If you don't know where they are, there's 2 simple options. There's the easy option, that's just go to Wikipedia and look it up. But don't do that. The second option is a lot more fun, and that is listen to our old episodes where we talk about Konami.
That's the much better option.
Clearly the better choice.
If you're seeking pure distilled knowledge, sort through about 16 hours of TADPOG episodes.
But since we've already covered where Konami is, I want to do some little trivia. And unfortunately, I can't word these in the form of a question to give you. So I'm just going to run through 2 things that I thought was really interesting. I found out that in the arcade version, when you beat El Greco and you're playing as Cormano, he gives you his sombrero and you wear it until the end of the game. How fucking cool is that?
That's much better. That's something simple they could have included.
I know. So instead of him wearing his pink sombrero, he could have been wearing El Greco's red sombrero. The other thing that I thought was interesting is that this game didn't have any sequels, probably for the better, but it had 2 spiritual successors, Mystic Knights and Wild West Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
I've heard of that one.
I haven't played it.
I've heard of it
as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to take place of Where Are They Now? I hope the gods of Where Are They Now are appeased.
I think so. In answer to that, if we want to think of if this game had achievements, what achievements would Sunset Riders have? I struggled to keep my two achievement minimum,
Okay.
which was I have 2.
Please, you share them and I'll come up with mine on the fly.
I have Red Dead Mexicano,
Okay.
which you make a solo Cormano run through the game.
Damn, I like that. That's good.
Yeah. And the second one called You're Not Going to Get 100% Completion, which is finish it without losing a life.
Okay. Can I...
That's the big fuck you. Fuck you. You can play this game forever and not get shit.
Here's mine on the fly. Ready?
Yes.
God Save the Queen. God Save the Queen is the achievement where you defeat Rose at the end without dying once.
Okay. All right.
The alternate name to that I'm kind of thinking is Stay Calm and Kill the Bad Guy. I don't know.
Okay. I see the t-shirt.
The other one, the second achievement, it's Cormano Unchained. I think it's Cormano Unchained, in that you don't kill any bosses except for the white ones. you play through the game as Cormano, you spare all of the non-white bosses.
That's pretty good.
Tyler, I think those are some pretty good achievements. I have two very important questions. Tyler, are you ready? Okay. All right. There is a bounty hunter, and he has a revolver to your forehead.
That's bad.
It's very bad because you are not a woman, so he does not respect you.
Yeah.
And he says to you, Tyler,
Yes, bounty hunter.
if you was to give this game a beard, what manner of beard do you reckon it'd be?
I thought long and hard about this.
Yeah.
I don't like making this kind of reference because I feel like it's extraordinarily overdone, but it requires some Napoleon Dynamite knowledge. So I would have to give this 3 black Pedro mustaches.
Okay.
So just, it's sort of weak. It's there. It's like a caterpillar that's just falling asleep
It's
on your
like
upper
a
lip.
third eyebrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's bring it back down. Let's cleanse our palate of the beard. We've taken that in, that nastiness. Okay, I'm cleansed.
Good. I can see that. You do look cleansed.
Tyler, there's a beard that you wear on your face. It covers your eyeballs, and they're called glasses. If you were to give this game a pair of eyeball beards, what would it be?
Well, this would get one single pair of cracked and dusty alcoholic frontier doctor spectacles.
Okay, those are awful. I've never worn them, but you'll see them in like Dr. Quinn, of course. The
Because we love Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
by the way, listeners, if you haven't already checked out our companion podcast, Tyler and Dave Talk Dr. Quinn, then I suggest you subscribe today.
Tyler and Dave talk middle school fashion. Tyler and Dave talk Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
We do have a show every day of the week lined up for you. All of those are much more popular than our Tyler and Dave scream racial slurs. I don't know why that one hasn't taken off. But yeah, you see
Or
those,
racial slurs from the 1920s, so no one understands them.
But yeah, you always see these glasses in the movies, and they've got these like hooks at the end. I guess they just hook your ear. They just look super uncomfortable. Maybe you can catch a trout with them, but I don't think I want to wear them as my eye beards.
Certainly not.
Do we have any people to thank, Tyler?
We have a lot of people to
Do
thank.
we?
We
Really?
do. We do.
Do people like us?
People tolerate us.
Up until this episode?
Yeah.
Right? Who do we have to thank?
For Facebook shares, we want to thank Ramon Frederico Castillo III and his wife, JD Momi Castillo III,
Right.
for their Facebook shares.
Yes.
Link, Kevin.
Kevin?
Kevin.
The hero of Hyrule.
Because whenever he was called Kevin this weekend, I had to who the hell's Kevin? Oh, you mean Link? Yeah. Of course, Mega Elixir, always supporting us strong.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Josh Nance, Nicole Nance.
Who claim they share.
They claim they share.
They claim they share. It doesn't show up in our Facebook stats. So you know what, guys?
We're gonna trust them till we know we can't trust them.
Right. We're just going to take your word for it, okay?
Or Lord Mike of Purdue
His Majesty.
and Elijah Phillips. We had retweets from Laura Ammons.
Yes.
We're going to thank getting feedback from Jacob York, Dennis Robinson, John Turley, and Brian Atkins.
John, I'm so glad you're listening to the show now. I am.
We want to thank John Sullivan for his Shaq Fu artwork.
Oh my God.
Just stepping up and just delivering a blow to Lord Mike of Purdue
I know.
with the art.
As soon as I saw it, is amazing. It is amazing what he did with the Shaq Fu art. I love it. It made my day. Honestly, it made my week. Thank you for doing that. It was funny because as soon as I read it, I heard it in my mind. A new challenger has entered the fight. It's just now, from now on, you and Micah are rivals.
Yep. We're laying that out. And let's see, I think answering our Facebook challenge for where is Shaq's music now, David Dykes, for delving into the depths and coming back with more Shaquille O'Neal.
The dirtiest of D's.
And then we had some good 5-star iTunes reviews for achieving your GOAT matrimony.
A strong push until the very end. I have to give it to our listeners. They didn't give up. Unfortunately, they weren't successful.
Mm-hmm. Only like 993 or so shy.
Mm-hmm. So we were close. Mm-hmm. I'd say we were close.
But we want to thank Highly in Hope, Master Peas, Chase Eldon, Chooky Pook.
That's my favorite name.
I immediately think of Garfield's teddy bear. And Sam Barra. We've only corresponded through text with you, Sam. So I'm assuming we're saying your name correctly.
Probably not.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to say Barug.
Barug.
Can we call you Balrog? Are you okay with that? He's one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter, so it's a compliment.
And that's it for our shout.
Oh, that's it? That's all we've got?
That's it. Only those 20 people.
Do you have any closing thoughts, Tyler, that you'd like to share? Any bits of trivia? Would you like to tell me a story or...
No, I've exposed my note writing and fear of chocolate pudding pedophilia.
Mm-hmm. Is there any way we can tie that back to Sunset Riders?
Nope.
All right, that's the show.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find our show on iTunes or Stitcher so you don't miss another episode. Next week, we're talking about the number 87 game Sparkster. So while you're around, don't forget to check us out on iTunes, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. Maybe we'll have some kind of animal matrimony challenge sometime soon.
Well, guys, I've had a lot of fun today. I hope you have too. I know you can't get enough of us. I know it. Don't worry, guys. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, if you can't get enough of this TADPOG goodness, goat marrying nonsense, feel free to join us on facebook.com/TADPOG. You can see all of the wonderful art that we're talking about. And you can also go to tadpog.com and listen to episodes there. But most importantly, check out the show notes. I put a lot of work into those. I got one more thing to say, and that is our intro and outro is Moves by Sycamore Drive. A link to that track can be found in our show notes at tadpog.com. Don't lie, you didn't have the decency to go to the bathroom. I'm talking about sucking our own dick in here.